So essentially, when you think about modeling in simulation, what do we mean? What exactly does this associativity really materialize in? So when you, for example, look at like a CAD model, a CAD concept model, as you would see here, and before you saw like meshes on top of them, right? So you can see here that right now on the right hand side, we just go and hide some modules, so we can see the battery modules like underneath those top plates. As CATIA within 3DEXPERIENCE, of course, still maintains its powerful parametric engine. Those concept designs can be changed parametrically, right? And the interesting thing here is now that the mesh which has been created before, which is associative to the geometry before those changes have been applied on the design side, right now, as you can see, is out of sync, but it's part of the same data model. So essentially, what users can do is they can really not like export to a separate pre-processing tool the change design, and then just go ahead and try to remesh and rebuild all the connections within a disconnected system. What we can do is just as we leverage the mesh right besides the geometry in the same data model, as objects, we can make sure that the associativity can be properly synced by just clicking this update button here. Of course, this takes maybe a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes based on the model complexity. But of course, even also not only like the surface meshes, but also the connection definitions which are there can be properly directly propagated from the CAD definition to the CAE definition. So this is really, really powerful. So this is one, I would say, major MODSIM pillar, which is right built into the software. The second one is the so-called design exploration layer. Of course, when you think about, okay, now I have a design, now I have maybe some, maybe I went ahead and did a couple or added a couple of parameters into my CAD design, maybe within SolidWorks, maybe within CATIA V5, maybe within others. Essentially, what can be done or what can be leveraged within 3DEXPERIENCE is the fact that, of course, if the CAD is parametric and the mesh is associative, we can go ahead and take this further, right? And this is what we do within the same user environment, the same program. So you see here really the CAD parameters which have been defined, and they can now be fed into directly a so-called design variable manager. So we can go and, for example, check design spaces on the CAD side straight away by just hitting or by just starting like these design space checks you see on the right-hand side. Once again, not a separate program, which maybe you would even need to host outside besides your pre-processing program and your CAD program. And the same holds true also, of course, on the post-processing side. So as we can do simulations natively within 3DEXPERIENCE, we can go and define so-called sensors on the result side, maybe for, I don't know, max intrusions, eigenfrequencies, whatever you prefer. And then we can actually close the loop from changing a CAD parameter via associative meshing, simulation setup, simulation result, to go ahead and really automatically start design of experiments or even like advanced optimization loops. This is, I would say, the second core pillar, which is really, really important.